I still had it on a starting soon screen. All right. How's it going, everybody? I'm going to do a year-end stream and probably do some more content testing. Um, just kind of like show where I'm at the end of the year and what I've got planned for Christ 2026. I'm getting old. Um, so I figured we'd start here on my table. And just talk about like wrap up the year, the content and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, let's start over here from from what I've released. So pretty much everything over here on release is stuff that I put in release this year. Um, Arrow's a bit of an older character, but I rebuilt her, and yeah, she's released. She's in a pretty good state. Doesn't get played too much anymore, unfortunately. She's a couple years old. Amaranth, I made her this year. She's probably the fastest character I've put out in alpha and then released. She is probably one of my favorite characters I've made. Colleen Wing, I released her this year as well, both in alpha all the way to release state. Um, One of the more experimental characters I made all year. Um, Certainly one of the most ambitious, at least like one of the first ambitious ones I really did. Hellcat, I released last year in alpha, last October, or by last October, I mean 2024. And then put her in release state this year. Lila Cheney alpha and release this year. Um, I made her. I made her because I said I was going to make her, and then I was like, "Oh crap! I've actually got to make her now." Because I idiotically told Havoc during one of his streams I was going to release her. Now she's kind of obsolete. I need the fixer text now because they changed the rules in the game that um, cards that you put into the villain deck will stay in the villain deck, which wasn't the case when I made Lila Cheney. I just might not change her text. Um, how's it going, S? Um, Moonstone, she released 2 years ago, and then I rebuilt her. Um, Give her a re-release a few months ago. She got her newest update. Rasputin 4. She was another character I brought out, and then she went through the alpha to release cycle pretty damn quick. Um, I don't know who went faster, her or Amaranth. It might have been Amaranth still, honestly. She's also the only character I've got so far that's gotten nominated for gas, which is a little bit sad to me. Songbird, I re-released this year, and she might honestly get dropped back down in the beta. I'm having issues with her three main upgrade. Actually, all four were upgrades. Well, four of her upgrades, I guess I should say, because she's got like six of them. Mach is fine. So vocal augmentation, sonic carapace, sound beam, sound bubble is perfectly fine, and pure sound wings. So there is a lot happening on these cards that I need to optimize a little bit better. So she might be dropping out of her release state and then back into beta. But she's got some weird interactions with Sonic Carapace and her hero ability, that they play off each other, but they play off each other awkwardly. I don't want to change the text on this because I think her text is fine. But like the Sonic Carapace augmentation and Pure Sound Wings, I think they all might just need to get a slight tweaking to them. Everything else in her deck is working just fine though. So how you doing, Ass? I saw Havoc streamed earlier when I was taking a nap because he didn't want me to watch his stream or something. And then you and another member were grill him about all of his Buffy decisions. Another character released this year, Temper, Iaconquo. She went from alpha to release pretty quickly. I might drop her back down in the beta because she has the reverse problem characters with that rely on counters usually have, where she's generating too many counters. I feel like I can drop some counter. Actually, it's one of her last cards. So I should probably just go this one. I feel like I can drop some counter generation off of this because it's. I mean, how her text works is after she plays an ice or a fire card, she will get the corresponding counter here. So this right here is placing 2 counters on either ice or fire, and then it places an additional 1 on ice and fire. So it's producing 4 of them. I do want to play test her a little more to make sure that's a good decision to do, because I have had 1 or 2 playtests where she's had trouble getting her counters. But usually by the end of the playtest, she's sitting on like 6 to 10 counters on each side that she can't do anything with. So she's just kind of like in an awkward place. I have to decide whether or not she actually needs that rework or not. Everything else on her seems to be working perfectly fine. They're all back in there. Venus. Venus came out in alpha this year. Pretty much at the exact same time. Havoc released his singer, Dazzler, who is cast certified. Another stab in my heart, as I have nothing cast that's passer cast. She's released though. She is stupidly good for a character who does not attack much at all. She is a very good support character. Like Arrow plays Justice really well. She can go in other aspects pretty well. Amaranth probably is just Justice right now. Colleen can play anything. I think I have her built as protection. Hellcat can play anything. I have her built as aggression right now. Lila can really only play Justice or leadership. I have her built as leadership. Moonstone is pretty much aggression focused. Rasputin mostly veers towards aggression, but she can play protection. Songbird can play pretty much anything well. I have her geared towards Justice a bit more. Temper can probably play anything but defense. Venus wants to play leadership or Justice. Then how are my beta cards, my beta decks doing? So I just put Atlas in beta today. I made him about a year and a half to 2 years ago, and then when I lost his PSDs, he was semi-abandoned for a long time while I was focusing on new projects. Then when I focused on fixing my Thunderbolts wave, he got fixed. Today, actually, I released an update for him to help him with his ionic counters. So he can flip. He's got his obvious human form or hero form, which is giant. And then he changes state, he goes gigantic. And then his cards get additional text based off of if he is in gigantic form. So I made changes to Dallas. Before was essentially just an upgrade that would ping enemies for 2 damage every turn. Now she's a proper ally who you'll want to use as an ally instead of just keeping her in play to do 2 damage every turn. Oh, sneezed. These cards remained unchanged. Rapid expansion, I gave it more ionic counters to place on Atlas so he can get into gigantic form faster. Atlas's suits, I knocked the resource cost down. I gave it an attack buff. I mostly gave it an attack buff on it also so that Dallas can get it because she gets any modifiers that Atlas gets. I buffed body block a little bit. When I made this deck originally, Repost hadn't come out yet, and Repost did the same thing that Body Block's first part does, except it did it 1 damage stronger. So I just did it so that this would be on par with Repost, and then would give these bonus effect to Gigantic Form. I changed the text on Ionic Bonds that essentially does the same thing that it used to do, but now Dallas will not take consequential if you use it. So he got some makeovers. He's actually, I'm not even going to say the table, doesn't matter. He's honestly pretty close to being a released hero already. He's pretty simple. The only thing that he has trouble with right now is, as a defense character, he is constantly, he's constantly exhausted. And because he wants to get his counters, being exhausted all the time doesn't always benefit him. Originally, when I made him, he didn't get ionic counters for getting perfect defenses, which he does now. So him not being ready isn't that big of a deal anymore. And then once you get his suit out, he can definitely get counters again. Director Faden, first one going down this line that is not Marvel. She's in a pretty good place right now, honestly. Trying to think. Are there any? I would like to see more people play test her so I can get some different feedback on her. She plays pretty well. She's chaotic as hell, which is what she was supposed to be. I don't know. Ever since I made the engine update, my cards come out upside down now. Trying to think. Like, she is kind of like Colleen Wing in that she starts off okay, and she gets stronger the more she can upgrade herself. So I mean, she's pretty close to being ready to be put into a release state or a release version, whatever you want to call it. She's one of the, I made her before I made a single Marvel character. She's an old character for me. Miss Marvel, or Miss America. She was the second Marvel character I made after Arrow. So Arrow was the first, Miss America was the second. She needs to get a bit of a rebuild. Her kit is pretty good, but there's some wonkiness to her that I think I need to iron out before I can say that she is in a release state. She's also her, Shauna, and Deadpool. I need to get their set emblems taken care of. Like if you look at Atlas, I have the symbol at the bottom of his card with the 1A and everything like that. I don't have that for Miss America. I don't have it for Shauna. I don't have it for Deadpool. They're the only Marvel characters I haven't done them for yet because I started doing this after I made them. I have their emblems set aside already. Like Miss America is getting her star emblems. Shauna is getting the tip of a spear. Deadpool is getting one of her knives, which I'm not set on. I want to kind of not set myself to that. So what I need to do to make her better is her big thing is, so her big thing is that she gets a star trait thing. So she has cards. What should she do again? Yeah, after she gets Stargaze, she gets plus 1 attack. Yeah, that's good. She used to be unplayable. Alloy used to be unplayable, and then I changed her text up. So after she plays cards with the star trait, she can use one of these abilities once per phase. So you can see she's just got a lot of cards with stars on them. And then this right here. Does not count against her once per phase. So I don't think she needs to go through like a heavy remake. She just needs to get some slight tweaking here before I can say that she is released. Let's do it again. Oh yeah, that's one of the battle cards. And then look, her extremely strong card here. She got 2 allies. She's the first character I made with 2 allies in her deck, at least from Marvel line. Satana. How is Satana doing? She's unbelievably strong, which she should be, because Satana is one of the strongest mystics in the Marvel universe. She just doesn't get the same love that Doctor Strange or Clea or even like Jericho Drum get, really. She's just kind of like an anti-hero who stays an anti-hero, and she gets one-off entries every now and then, which made her extremely hard to make because there's no consistent art style. They change some characters, like just the art style changes, and like when the art style changes, it just some tweaks in appearance. Satana goes through drastic appearance changes, so she's been hard to get a consistent look down to build a hero deck around. She's probably the most not probably, she definitely is the most inconsistent for what she looks like card to card. Is like this right here is like a 90s image. This is from the Witches series. This is from the vampire invasion one that happened like 2023, where all the Marvel characters are going against vampires. This is Thunderbolts. This is the same vampire series. This is the vampire series. Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts again. A lot of Thunderbolts. Dark Avengers. The vampire series again, which I actually have a full art card of that I prefer using. This is from a crossover she had with Black Cat. This is from Doctor Strange. This is the first time she also appeared with the red outfit and the white hair, which honestly is her best look. Thunderbolts, Doctor Strange, her one-off that she had where I got her Nemesis from. So she's just a hard character to get a consistent appearance for. I didn't want to focus completely on Thunderbolts because I didn't want her to be a part of the Thunderbolt wave. I wanted to actually focus on characters that were pretty consistently Thunderbolts throughout the entire run, which would be Moonstone, Songbird, Atlas, Fixer, and Mach. And then I decided that my 6th would be Jolt, because she is purely Thunderbolt related. She has a couple appearances from Exiles comics, and then like some Thunderbolts slash like when Thunderbolts invade other comic series, but she's pretty much purely Thunderbolts. Shanna. Shauna is honestly probably good to be released. I want to get set emblems on her like the rest of them have before I do that. She's just in a really good spot right now. She plays how I want her to play. Yeah, so there's going to be some blowback from people who are purists about having 4-card hand size for high hit point characters, but her ability is to spend a resource, which means that she might be losing a card out of her hand size anyways. She essentially is a character who I have she's one of the few characters I've built two precons for. Because she operates best in either aggression or leadership. Because she comes with three allies off the bat. Her husband, Zabu, which is their Matthew Blunder just fell on the table. Zabu, which is kind of like their sidekick between her and Kazar. And then Matthew Plunder, which is their son. The only things I can really see that need to be fixed with her at all, I can see giving. It fell through the fucking table again. I might just need to get a new table because there are a couple dead spots on this table where cards fall through. Matthew Plunder just might need to get new text. It's not bad or anything like that. It's just I've never remembered it. And that just might be a me thing. Somebody else might remember to actually use this text. And then Kazar, who's really good. So her big thing is she comes with an 8-card environment deck that represents the random nature of what can happen in the Savage Lands. So as you're playing, I just have 15 cards. So should have more. Because I have 3 here. I'm losing my mind. So her ability on this side is she can spend a resource and she plays the top card of her Savage Land deck. So you might be in Healing Waters, where every player can use the Healing Waters. You can spend again. Now you guys are in the Valley of the Vermilion Eye. Every character gets +1 fort. Enemies get +1 scheme. So there are negatives and positives with just about every space. This one can whiff. So yeah, I'm still probably going to keep that in there. Some cards they're just going to whiff. This one is mean to everything. This one is good for the players. It's so good. It used to be broken. I had to nerf the hell out of that and enjoy her ass. You know, helpful for everybody. Helpful for her and hindering everybody else. And then kind of helpful for everybody. So that's just kind of like what you got to go through when you go through the Savage Land environments. What's fell through here now? The Temple Apes. Okay, yeah, Temple Apes are mean to everybody. But other than, yeah, she's in a very good spot. She is probably releasable. I just want to get the precon and set emblems taken care of before I do that. Sip the why am I getting like slightly darker table? That's got to be a resourcing. Sif. I love Sif. Sif is probably one of my most favorite decks that I made this year. I made Shauna this year. Satana is an old deck. I want to say she was like the 3rd or 4th character I made from Marvel after I started switching the Marvel content. Miss America is a couple years old. Alice is a couple years old. But yeah. Shauna I made, I think, in the beginning of this year. She's in a good spot. She's ready to go. Sif is one of the newer decks I made. What does it look like? There's a card under here. There is it. Okay. There's one. Sif, the All-Seer. All my cards are coming out upside down now. I don't like that. She is very fun. I I I think I have a very good concept with her. I think it is fun to execute. I think it is original. I think it's going to force people to think a little bit abstractly because she can interact with encounter cards before they're revealed. She can defeat them, defeat side schemes and minions. She's a little bit helpless against treacheries, which I did on purpose because she A needed the balance, and B, for a character who can see everything in the universe, she gets surprised a lot during her time as the All-Seer. But a lot of what she has is to help her deal with unrevealed minions and side schemes. She gets stronger the more she's got in her player area. It's like she's getting plus thwart, plus attack on the other sword. This card right here helps you get more of them. As Guardian Sentry to help you defend yourself and also ready you. She's got a lot of readying mechanic in her deck. She can remove all the threat from a side scheme before it's revealed. She can defeat minions before they are revealed. If they do end up revealing, she's got go for the head, which she can use to attack them once they've flipped before they even do anything. In case she's having trouble with this, she has intercept, which will keep them face down longer, which also helps benefit her both of her swords, um, which of course make her stronger the more cards are in front of her. It also helps Sif's crown, which gives her additional resources based off of what's in front of her. The Bifrost helps her get allies out. I know what's missing. Where did her aggression deck go? Or did I not make? Oh, I'm thinking of Shauna's aggression deck. Thought I made an aggression deck for her. I guess not. Genius. Strength has disappeared, probably through the table. Yep. I have no idea where I just put that. Oh, there it is. Then her precon with some familiar faces in it, obviously. So she is honestly, she's one of those characters who I think is pretty much released. I need to get more feedback from other players on her. Because as far as I'm concerned, she's balanced. She feels strong, appropriately strong, um, with the trade off of the fact that she wants to have a lot of encounter cards, like Star Lord, where they can be very strong, but they do have that drawback of look at all the encounter cards they're getting and to do it. Um, she is, in my opinion, though, she's pretty much releasable. I just want more feedback. Down the line, Star, another character I released this, or I put in alpha this year. She's in beta now. She's another character who has very wonky mechanic, not wonky, but um, she is very unique in how she's going to play. Um, oh my god! Ever since the Unreal update, I wonder if like putting them in their box again will fix that instead of it flipping over and over again. So how's she looking right now? Right now she's looking like a bunch of aces and playing cards. Anytime we want to load in. So her big mechanic is she is a stone bearer, so she has the reality stone. Um, which if you look over here, she's got the mind stone. They are two of the seven stone bearers, excuse me. Um, and her big thing is she's got the reality stone, so she can make anything real. She just has a shit imagination. Um, so here's her reality stone right here. So her big thing is she uses her reality stone to play other players' cards. When I was originally building her, I was building her so that she could steal cards from other players that you were playing with. But if you were playing solo, she that would make her useless. So what can you steal from them, right? Um, so I decided to switch it to when you build her deck, you can take cards from six different heroes, one copy of them, a an upgrade, an ally, and a event, and she'd be able to play those like as if they were her own cards. I'm presenting right now, and then I was going to play Kaji. I'm just kind of like doing a year-end wrap-up, and then I was going to do some play testing because I want to make sure that some of Psylocke's mechanics are working out better than they were earlier in the week. Um, So yeah, Star's another one of those characters like Sif, like Shauna, where I'd like to get additional feedback before I consider them released. I think she's in a good spot right now. She might be a bit confusing for some people. Are you presenting a male hero? Um, yeah, I went through Atlas earlier. I was going to get to Fixer and Mock, and then I can pull. Let's place these. Let's put Ruby out there. Ruby heroes. Who's man out of here? John. Or no, that's not John. That's Son. John. Crow. Ren. And then the aspect packs. Actually, it's funny you mentioned the very cool TTS table. I'm thinking about getting rid of it because there's like some weird detection spots where like as I'm looking at cards and I'm like flipping them over and everything like that, they just fall through the table. So I'm thinking about getting a new table. Um, oh, and then Ghostblade has a single male as well, which would be Ghostblade. But nobody knows Ghostblade IP except for me, I think. So they're just kind of down here chilling. Um, yeah, Star. I I feel like she's pretty much done. Maybe a couple tweaks here and there. I do need feedback on her pretty badly because I don't know if anybody's else other than me has played her. She's not a well-known character. Um, Wraith, Sentinels of the Multiverse. I wanted to make Wraith because Wraith was the how did I change what this interface right here? I'll be honest with you, when they updated the engine to Unreal 6 and I booted up the game, it was dark mode. And I was like, oh, this is the most noticeable thing they changed with the update was my icons were in dark mode. I didn't realize there was a non-dark mode, honestly, after the Unreal 6 update. So it's probably in configure what interface theme game. It's probably in here somewhere. I have no idea where it would be. But yeah, when I booted up after the Unreal update, it was dark mode, which I can't complain about. I like it more. But I was like, other than the game running a bit smoother, that's the only thing I've really noticed. Oh, and then all my cards go out of boxes upside down and flip around 5,000 times. Wraith. Yeah, see how my cards are coming out of the box? It's driving me insane. Wraith is another character that I need to poke at a little bit more. I don't know. I've playtested her a few times, and I've just had her sitting on the table since then. Um, for one of my probably my main character, my favorite character from Sentinels of the Multiverse. She needs some TLC though, probably. Um, and definitely some more playtesting. And then my alpha heroes, uh, Deadpool. I think Deadpool is in a good spot. The only issues I might have with Deadpool is how everything is phrased. The other issue that I might need to make more. I don't know. I don't want to make more tokens, but I might need to make something in her kit because right now she's got the red tokens, which she puts on herself that indicate that she has copied that token from another card. So her big thing is that she copies tokens from cards that are in play. When she copies them, they make her card stronger. Um, so I've been using red icons to mark that they're on her, or red tokens. The gray tokens you place on the other card to let yourself and other people know That's what you've copied. But she has a card in her deck. Deadpool Suit is an awesome card. She has a card in her deck. Where is it? It's like the last card, of course. Quick Learner, which places icons on its own. And from playtesting on her, there is some weird interactions when you do that where it might be beneficial to have another way of marking this. She'll probably stay in alpha until I come up with a more concrete way of doing that. I mean, other than figuring that out, she's in a good state of play right now. She's definitely not one of the stronger characters I've made, which is fine, honestly. But she's not one of the stronger ones. Fixer, another alpha hero. I probably should have a re-release next to him because I made him a couple years ago. I lost all the files, and then whereas the rest of the Thunderbolts, when I did their re-releases, I kind of just like tweaked them to make them work a bit better. I made them a few years ago, so a lot of them I've learned how to make cards better. Fixer I rebuilt from the ground up, pretty much his entire deck. Like I kept some of the ideas, but his deck is largely it's no longer the same. He's still upgrade heavy like he was before. His hero ability has completely changed. His alter ego ability has completely changed. I changed it so that I wanted to make something interesting. He can only have basic cards unless they're weapons, armor, or tech. He's running off of a lot of, like, everything so far has been an upgrade. There's his first event. He's got 8 upgrades just right there. He's got some events, and they all base their strength off of his upgrades. I released him. I play tested him one time. I need to keep play testing him to make sure he is doing what he needs to do. Jolt is a very simple character. She works best as Justice or Leader. Like if she's gonna play Justice, she wants to have a lot of allies. Or she can play Leadership, but she operates best probably with Justice. She does not have a very high stat pool, obviously. Her big thing is she wants to get allies out to help her. She can play. Actually, it doesn't matter where you play her as because she gets. She can have Thunderbolts from any aspect. She gets +1 thwart, attack, and aerial, and she can use this to ready herself. So she's kind of a thwarting machine. She's more of a jack of all trades than some of the other Thunderbolts I made. She's another character who, just like Fixer, I just need to do more play tests to make sure she's in a good spot. I think she is in a good spot, but just some tightening up. Mock is another character who probably just needs a little tightening up. There is definitely so he comes with 4 different hero forms based off of different eras of the comics, and they each do different things for him. So one's like a leadership focus, one's a protection, aggression, and then justice focus, right? And from playtesting, the one that I've gotten the most value by far out of is this leadership one. Then again, his precon is leadership. So I might have to play test them under different circumstances. That and a 6-card hand size on that one form when the rest only have 5. His defense card is also extremely good. I might need to nerf it a little. Because it's a +2 defense that can either flip him to alter ego or ready him. It has been probably his most valuable. You know what? I'm not saying on the table. Keep it Jolt. It's probably been the most valuable card in his deck, other than his allies. he is otherwise in a very good spot, I think, to like move up the beta testing and all that stuff. Psylocke, my newest hero. I released her a week ago, if that, or maybe like 10 days ago, actually. Um, she is extremely strong. Um, I don't know if I'd say overpowered strong. Though there are probably some deck builds that you can do that make her feel like it. Um, I don't, other than her sonic sheathing, I don't see a lot of room for her to be nerfed. Um, so she gets her Psychotron or Psy Blades, which is originally called Psy Knives. She was originally going to be kind of like how Rasputin is a culmination of different hero cards that I modified to fit her. She was originally going to do that for the FFG Psylocke, but I opted to give her, as I was making her, I kind of got more freedom into her deck, which is crazy because her character is anything but free. She's constantly getting taken over. Um, and her big thing is she is extremely strong in hero form. Um, another thing about her is like her hero ability. I've gotten a ton of use out of, and I've seen people who have not. I think it's more of a play style type thing. A lot of her cards benefit from being able to only spend one resource on them. Um, but as it stands right now, the two strongest cards in her deck, I should say, Psychotana and her side blades are good. And her Sonic Sheathing are probably. I might need to up the cost on. If I upgrade this to like a 3 cost, I can see this being fine. This right here, I might need to put like a limit of once per turn on. Because essentially what's happening is you build a heavy Sonic deck. You exhaust this, deal 2 damage, you play Sonic card. Excuse me, you exhaust this, deal 2 damage, draw a card, play a Sonic card, ready this, exhaust it, and draw a card. That is a lot of value. It's, in my opinion, and from what Bubblegum and Sugar were telling me, it didn't. She felt extremely strong, but not overpowered. Um, she was extremely fun, which is I was happy to see. Um, the part that was kind of like messing with the fun a little bit is she gets possessed, obviously, because that's her big. That's Canon's big thing in the comics is get possessed. So this starts out of play. She has this. Every single game I've played, there are games I've played where I'll go through 3 runs through the deck and I'll never see my nemesis. I'll never see my obligation come out. I've gotten her obligation every single time. Every single time her obligations come out. Most of the games her nemesis has come out. Um, so she essentially becomes a character on a timer. She will, once this comes out, unless you're playing like some character that is going to be able to get rid of a face-up obligation in player's play area, this will stay out until it is done. And then once it is done, she changes to Lady in White, Psylocke and White. And right now, the part that is keeping her in alpha is I need to make this balance to where it doesn't necessarily need to feel as strong as Canon and Psylocke, because Canon and Psylocke right now is playing extremely strong. It just needs to not feel like it's dragging you down. She's had to go through a lot of wording changes and balance changes, and just in Psylocke and White alone to make sure that she feels capable and still fun, even if she's not as good as regular Psylocke. And then she has cards, an 8 card deck that she has to play from when she's in Psylocke and White. Getting that down is what's keeping her from going into beta and then released. She it's obviously a little bit of bias and her playmat, of course. It's a little bit of bias. I think she has been another one of the more fun characters I've made recently. I'm happy about that. Um, it's just getting those couple things taken care of. Um, and then a preview of a character I'm currently working on, Cinderella from Fables. She is currently about halfway through the planning phase, um, and don't consider anything on this to be finalized right here as it is. She is, if you're not familiar with the Fables universe, um, our modern or not even our modern fables, our fables throughout history have their own world, and so like there would be worlds for um, Beauty and the Beast, what are their names? Briar Rose and no, Briar Rose is the Sleeping Beauty. Beauty is a different character, if I remember correctly. Um, there's worlds where all these characters lived in mostly harmony, and then this force from nowhere comes out and starts destroying the worlds, starts murdering fables and other people of the world and whatnot. So the fables come to our realm, like Earth realm, and they set up a secret society in New York called Fabletown. Um, and then everything kind of picks up from there. So Cinderella, being one of the most popular fables that people know, is also one of the most is one of the also English escaped me, is one of the strongest fables there are. Her and like not Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, um, Big Bad Wolf. Um, these are all relatively strong characters in the universe of fables, because a lot of people know who these fables are. They're extremely popular fables. Um, so Cinderella's role in Fabletown is she is the spy. She is the female James Bond. She will set traps and plans, and she'll sleep with people if she has to get her way to finishing her missions for Fabletown. Um, so her deck is going to feature a lot of preparation. She's going to have at least 5 sort of trap cards, um, where I can put them out and then they'll do things to minions and enemies and treacheries when they come up. Um, and that's going to be like her big theme of her deck. Um, this is the only card that I have made so far as their hero and alter ego. So as I continue on, I'll have more progress on that. I'm not going to run through all the aspects because I am trying to play a game at some point. Legacy cards. Am I going to remake any of these legacy cards? Um, so 2026, the plan is to make. I have early concepts for 3 different heroes from Fables, um, which would be Cinderella, who have already kind of started, um, Big Bad Wolf, and Snow White, um, possibly, as weird as it sounds, Bo Peep. Bo Peep in Fables is kind of like an assassin character, um, or Peter Piper, who would be Bo Peep's husband. He is also kind of like an assassin character, but he uses music to hypnotize enemies. Um, I don't have anything really planned out for other Marvel characters right now. I know I have like early concepts, but I don't have anything really to work off of right now for other Marvel characters. Other things I want to do in 20 like coming up here soon in 2026 is I need to get Shauna, Deadpool, and Miss America in completed states, where they have their set emblems and everything like that. Um, and then yeah, it's probably going to be on the Fables. Um, as for the Legacy cards, I do want to go through some of Ruby and see what in there I can adapt now, because these are the first cards I made when I first got into this. Yang actually was the very first character I made. This is like 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. Because it was like right towards the end of COVID when I started making this stuff. Um, she she's a character like so. My plan with Ruby and with Ghostblade, which is the other legacy set, is to go through and see what I think I can translate to today, and then do it if I can get the time to. Um, but they're not priorities for me. And then there's this stuff right here. This has been on the back burner for so long. I need to do a slight tweaking of Lady Mechanica so I can put her back onto the table. Um, she's another one of the characters, her and 2B. When my hard drive broke, I lost their PSDs, so I need to rebuild their cards from the ground up just to make sure that they are balanced again. Um, in their current states, Mechanica is actually not in a bad spot. She just needs just needs those tweaks. Um, 2B is in a decent spot as well, but the entirety of everything that I made for Near Automata needs to be fixed because I was going to do like a whole bunch of modulars for it. I'm not going to do that anymore. And so much of that set is based around interacting with like androids and stuff like that. There's not androids in Marvel. Um, so I do need to get to these two at some point. Fix them up. The legacy cards are just further down the line. Oh yeah, and then the other big thing I made this year, the Thunderbolts campaign. Um, this is largely completed. There's just some tweaks and typos from the villains, especially, um, that I need to make because I've made all these freaking heroes. I don't have a lot of experience making villains. I don't consider I consider myself good at making heroes. I don't consider myself good at making villains. I consider myself good at making modulars, but villains, I'm not that great at it. Um, I think I have some good villains in here, but it just was hard for me to do. Um, and speaking of what I might do this year, I don't know how many more villain sets I can make this year. I might not do any this year. I don't have a lot of fun making villains. They're a pain in the ass for me to make. That being said, when I do Fables, I might force myself to make a couple. Goldilocks is a very it's so weird to say these characters and think about them in terms of this card game, but Goldilocks is a very prominent villain in Fables. Geppetto is a big villain. Um, what's his name? Peter Pan, another big villain. These are all characters that are villains that I could see myself making with a Fables wave, depending on how in depth to the Fables I want to go. Um, but yeah, I mean that is kind of where my table's at right now. I made something like did I make a one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 brand new heroes this year. Along with um, rebuilding or reformatting or updating, whatever you want to call it, every other hero on this table that I did not make this year. So 11 new heroes, fixing up all the rest of them, finalizing this Thunderbolts campaign. I probably put out another 150 aspect cards. I had a busy year, and this coming year I plan on doing. I don't know if I'm going to keep up that same pace because I burnt out quite a bit. Like after I made Psylocke, I was going to go immediately into Cinderella, and I was just burnt out. I was freaking really burnt out. So I don't think I'm going to make the same amount this coming year. I'm definitely going to make as much as I've as I want to. I guess would be the best way to put it. Um, but yeah, I mean, that is my table now. And with that, I'm going to load up pitches and do some playtesting. What am I going to playtest? I'm probably going to playtest Psylocke. What's another alpha or beta hero that I can bring out here? Let's bring out. Let me do this guy. Oh, do my normal 2-card or 2 hands here. So let's grab Psylocke again. Is there an alpha hero I want? Psylocke is playing Aggression. Is he playing Jolts or Fixer? Or Mock. What have in beta as well? Shauna is also. Well, Shauna can play leadership as well. Stiff. Let's grab an alpha hero. I don't like playing solo hands, so we'll bring in. Let's screw it. Let's bring in Fixer. Let's see if he's garbage right now. Because he was garbage before I made all the changes, which is why I made him all his changes so drastic. Also, I don't like Fixer as a character. Out of all the characters I made in the Marvel wave, I hate him. I hate Fixer so much. But I made him because if you're going to make a Thunderbolts wave, you need Fixer. This is. I'm just going to keep these in the box. Along with this. Depends on. I don't even know if Kaji's still here, if he wanted to play or not. So as influence, past Fixer. The same. He doesn't have an aspect. He just has. He doesn't get an aspect. All right. Let me draw my hands in. Oh yeah, that's right. Up his starting hit points. He was originally 9 on his original build, and now he is 10. I didn't make that properly. So his thing is his deck cannot have aspect cards other than armor, attack, and weapon. His recovery equals the amount of tech upgrades he has in play. And then his other side, he discards an upgrade he controls to generate the resources of that card. Why is that a response? That should be an action. So his other weird. Why did I do that? Oh yeah, I have the first part because I want him to be able to discard cards that are running out of counters. Play tech upgrade. So yeah, his big thing is going to be trying to get as much tech as possible. His old build was that his hand size was based off of his tech, similar to Tony Stark. Experimental weapons. And reveal the top card. Laser rifle. So I look in here. I don't need these. Because he's not going to play allies and she's only got 3. Alright, so we'll start with Psylocke. I need to update his stuff for based off of 2 characters. So 6 is the final threat there, and he's got 24 health. Alright, so just got a copy of Psyblades, that's good. She's got Sonic Sheathing. Oh my god, what an opening hand she's about to have. Because it starts with her. As an action, I'm going to find a copy of Psy Katana or Psyblade, so that's going to be Psy Katana. Into her hand, and shuffle. Pay 2 to get it out. Flip. I will. Problem is, I kind of want all these cards that are in my hand right now. Spend 2, 3 for the X-Jet. I'm going to use the X-Jet. Actually, before I use the X-Jet, 2 damage. And then I'll use the X-Jet to pay for Sonic Sheathing, which will ready this. 2 damage. And draws me a card. I will spend 1 to Psyblades for 2 damage and confuse. Then I will just get starting threat. I'll hit him for 2 more damage. So I've already done 8 damage. It was an excellent starting hand though. I might drop the damage on Psychotana to 1 just because it can get used so often. That might be one of the ways that I deal with her balance issues. But yeah, that's going to end her turn. Norbert. Flip. Got 2 multi-talenteds in his hand. Search your collection for 1 tech or weapon, upgrade, and attach this card. I need to word that better because the card that it brings in is supposed to be in play at the same time. So I do need to rephrase that. So I already noticed like 2 issues on his cards. This needs to be an action on top, and this down here needs to be better worded. Search your collection for 1, because it doesn't tell you what to do with the upgrade that you get. So it needs to say, put that card in play and attach this card to it. All right, so I see that now. I think I'm going to spend both multi-talenteds. To get a Mine's better. Total card browser. I can grab hero cards. So I'm going to grab them from here. Oh, that's an issue because this table doesn't have hero cards on it. Let me think. I'm gonna look for a unicorns table because I know he has the high res. No, this is scan. Where's the high res scan one? Is this one? Yeah. Search because I want Iron Man has a thing that generates resources. I think he does at least. Oh, that's right. He's the one with the readying ability. I can always put Mark 5 armor on him. see, who's got to generate a resource? Heroes. I should have thought about this beforehand. Right? No, because that's not a tech or a weapon. Is there a tech or a weapon? It generates. This is me not planning out beforehand here. You know what? Web shooters might be a good option because I can always put counters back on them. So let me get rid of these. Let's grab the high res scans again. There are really this many spider characters with just, yeah, there are. There's also spider. In here. There we go. So just get this. So this should be putting it into play and attaching this card to this. This is also a good card to get because when this is discarded, then this will get shuffled back in and I can grab another one. So that in play. So upgrade. Yep. Tech. Yep. Just making sure. Spend this to get stun gun in play. And because I played Tech Smarts, I can put one purpose counter on each upgrade that I have. Let's change the counter type real quick. So this comes in play with 3, so it's at 4. This comes in play with 2. It gets 3 total. This might be not great in this situation, but I'm still going to play it. Spend a counter to get invisibility gear. So the enemy would scheme against me instead. That's not bad. Now here's the problem. I have 2 characters that do good thwarting. So he's just going to knock 1. Actually, instead of playing this, I'll spend the counter and this to get rid of his laser rifle. And then I'll attack him for the 1. I can exhaust this and stun him, but that's not a big deal right now. I might need this. Alright, so that'll end the player phase. Tech pack. So, yeah, you get the choices with this tech pack. Psylocke. 4 and 5. So Psylocke was built, I think I might have said this before in another stream. Psylocke was built with the idea that I'd never ever see people use telepathy and telekinesis ever. And I look at them and they're not good cards. I don't like spending 2 mental only resources to remove 2 threat. And then telekinesis with the 3 damage for the same cost. So part of the reason why I made Psylocke's ability like that is I wanted to be able to see if I can change the narrative a little bit on telepathy and telekinesis. and then I built her deck around that concept. She however does not have a defense card, so that's going to suck for her. So 2 goes to attack. This actually would get piercing, but he doesn't have a weapon. Attacks, and she is just going to take it for 1 damage. That's perfectly acceptable. Attacks over here on Fixer. Fixer will just take it. Oh, God, 4 damage. He's already paper. Say 1, and then we get it. A weapon card. Good news is that his machine gun's gone. Full auto, hero form. Discard X cards, or is its attack? So 2. So it's not an attack, so I don't worry about the boost on this. Just 1 damage. Guns only. Yep, 1 damage, 1 indirect damage. So he's already at half health. That's fantastic. Alright, so first things first, I need this deck back. That is the vital thing. He's also got cards in his deck that I think he's got 2 of them that should give him more restricted spots, which is why he has so many restricted cards. I think there's grab arms or something like that. Anything of these I want to play? Just him with Yarnborn is funny. One, 2. Let me take that off. Thank you. And 3 for my forceful generator. This is just wasting space in my hand now, but that's fine. I'll use this and 2 to stun the villain. I will remove all 3 threats, and that will end my turn. Or end his turn, I guess, because they're all my turns. Alright, so 1 for Grey Crow. I will deal 2 damage to the villain. Draw a card. Psychotana. I will use Sonic Kicker to get Psychotana in play. Comes into play with 3. That will ready Psychotana. Psychotana do 2 more. Trained Assassin score. Let me spend 1 to get Trained Assassin. And spend 1. What's this need? Mental and Fist. I don't think I have that. It's a bit too late. To Psyblades. So 2, and because he's confused, I can remove 2 from another scheme, but I can't do that. Don't have any resources right now to use Trained Assassin or Psycho 9, so I'm just going to attack for 2. And that's going to end the turn. I'm going to get rid of cards. Another 1 restricted. I'll keep Godslayer. That was very hardcore art for me to do because I had to use AI to get rid of text off of it, and it kept giving me all kinds of weird images, or not even related to the text. And it was just not a fun deal. All right. 1-2. Starting with Fixer, he attacks, but is stunned. Attacks Psylocke. That's 2. So I will defend with Psylocke. So she's getting 3 defense additional, so 5 defense. Ooh, takes no damage. And I will discard this to ready myself. Then encounter. Tough status card. And villain scheme. So rough. Oh, he's confused. So no scheme. I'll shuffle this. I didn't even see what it was, but I'm just going to shuffle it just out of fairness. All right. Two damage. And draw a card. Gray Crow. D'Angelo. I'm going to attack for 2 to remove the toughness. I'll spend 1, 2 on Psychic Assault to deal 3 damage and Confuse, which will ready Psykatana. I'll use Psykatana to hit for 2. Revealed. His machine gun's in the discard pile. I already know that. This is like the 5th card in the deck. Gets 4 counters on it, right? Because it's 2 per person. It's a rough card. It is such a rough card. Oh, it can be. I will take 1 damage to turn this into a mental and spend this as a mental to drop this and ready myself. He's at 28 hit points. And then I'll exhaust and deal 4 damage. I mean, if I want to get rid of Gray Crow, I can use a Psylocke. Fixer does need to flip. You know, I'll take 1 more damage and use Gray Crow as a mental. Psylocke to deal 2 damage and a root 2 threat. And this needs to be exhausted. And that will end the turn. On to Fixer, who needs to flip. Well, he pretty much needs to flip. What can I do here? So 1. What does this need to go away? Mental and fist. Let's use that as a fist, and this as a mental to get rid of this. We'll exhaust this to place 1 counter back on web shooters. And I do block the next 6 damage done to me. So I don't need to flip. I can even put 1 on Psylocke if I want to spend all my resources. I don't want to get bioelectric armor out. But that's only if I defend. I don't know if he's going to be defending much. Let's spend 1. 2, 3 to give her a force field generator. So she blocks next 6 damage done to her. And then she keeps removing all the damage. I'm still gonna flip and heal. It's for every tech, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to 5. Up 5. So he's back up to full health. And that will end his turn. And 6/2 broad energy beams. Number of all-purpose counters in his play area. It's a good card. And then there's the thwart version of that. So he currently has 6, 9 encounters in his counters in his area. So I might need to put maxes on these because that's 9 threat remove. Yeah, because this right here that's 6 alone. So he needs the max on both of these. Yeah, that's a bit overkill. What's the max speed though? I can probably say 6 is a good number. Because that would make it an extremely strong thwart. But I would limit it. Maybe 5 threat. No, I could probably do 6 on both. Let's say 6 on both. And just be extremely strong. Because he also got lucky with force field generator being out. And untouched. So yeah, that might be. Yeah, it's probably gonna have to be like 6. All right. And then, oh, she got her Sonic Butterfly, her resource generation, and her threat removal edition. Another trained assassin. Like a penis, Kyle. All right, so 1, 2 attacks. So this happens first. 2 indirect damage, which goes here, and then attacks for 4. So that is the last of the force field generator. Schemes, but is confused. Encounter. Every game, I'm guaranteed to get this out. So I recently changed this up because this originally was 3 per person. And what I might do, I might change it up again. I might make it starting threat of either 1 or 2, and then make it what's it called? The term just completely left my brain. Where it comes out with the additional 1 per person on it. As it stands right now, it's easy to defeat. I'm trying to find a balance for it because it completely nullifies her. Possessed. Search every time possessed comes into play. Spiritual possession. I also recently changed her because originally she did not have the text on there that stopped it from coming into play if spiritual possession was out. Or if possessed was out. So you could have spiritual possession and possessed out at the same time. You're not supposed to. So now she has this. That's her. I'm using to get shuffled in. Kind of nothing minions, but they are what they are. And reveal, take 2 damage, or place 1 threat on main. Place 1 threat on main. It's not the worst thing. On the Norwood Eversaw. So I don't need to be in this anymore. So we are tapping out at 6. So let me place 1 counter on stun gun. I'll spend Tech Savant to get actually let's play Tech Savant and one of my broad energy beams. So get Sonic Rifle, and when I use Tech Savant, I can put all-purpose counter on up to 3 upgrades. So we'll put one here. This comes in with 2. So I'll put another one on it. And let's do the stun gun. I could put another counter on this instead. That'd be pretty funny. So let me do 3 threat all of this. Actually, let's do the threat. Yeah, let's do the threat off the main. I will spend 1 and I could kill Yokai right off the bat. Yeah, let's spend the 2 to knock Yokai out since I'm doing max 6. That means I can't play this, but that is fine. I'll drop 2 off a stun gun to stun Crossbones. I'll spend 1 off of Sonic Rifle to confuse Crossbones. I can't play this. That'll end his turn. Under her, immediately to Sonic Butterfly. One of our most important cards. Because on top of giving her 1 thwart, it also, oh shit, also an enemy was defeated, so she gets a counter on there. I can drop 2 to get, let me do Psylocke. It'll knock this out. And draw my card. 2 side blades. I could, yeah, let's do Psionic Blades, or Psi Blades, excuse me, to deal 2 damage to an enemy. Oh, this isn't the count. 2, because he's already confused, remove 2 threat from the scheme. So here, and that's Psionic, so that readies this. Well, then exhaust do 2, which draws me a card. Scimitar. 1 by magic. I don't need you anyways. 2 for that. I can play this right now and do 2 damage to an enemy. I'm not going to. I will spend 1 for a trained assassin. I can't use any of these abilities right now, though. So I'll attack for 2. And then I think I'm gonna flip. Just so that he can spend his entire turn getting rid of status cards. Alright, so ready, draw 2, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably could have done this scenario on expert. Fixer is surprisingly strong. I was not expecting him to. He can just stun and confuse enemies the entire game. Alright. Attacks Fixer, stun, schemes, is confused. I need to put the 2 threat on here. Encounter. This little asshole. I hate this card so much. I hate Hydra Soldiers so much. Yeah. So I'm pretty quick so far. Oh my god, I can get Psylocke in instantly. Just need Mental and Fist. Let me get rid of Temper. Oh, that's a hero action. I can't even do it yet. I'm going to find a copy of Psyblades. And it goes to my hand. I'm going to heal for 3. Flip. Oh wait, I got Great Rose Cabin as well. Use the basic recovery. I can do this to get a Sonic card in my discard pile and add it to my hand. I mean, why would I not? All right, so flip 2. Sonic Butterfly to Psyblades. Deal 2. Confuse. Remove 1 threat. Ready. Oh, and then I need to draw a card from this first one. And then I'm using it again to draw another card. I have too many cards in my hand. 2, 4. Get Psylocke. So let's put the 2 health back on him and do it to this dude. Which gets a counter card on Fixer, but he's completely fine with that. Oh my god, I can absolutely demoralize. Oh, I played a Sonic card. She gets 2 counters. She will. Oh, this has no counter. She will attack. Oops. So this will do 1 damage, then 1 damage. I will then Sonic Kicker, which will ready her and give her +2 attack. So she has no more counters on her. So she's doing 3, and then 1. She's taking 2 damage. Now she's just a chump blocker. I will take 1 damage, spend a mental, trained assassin to ready myself. I will take 1 damage, change this to a single mental. Oh, that's not a mental. Shit. They're kind of the same thing right now. Psyblades. Actually, I don't have to. I can use this to Psyblades. Or not Psyblades, but Psych and I. Deal 2. And removes that. We'll spend 1 on Psyblades. I have nothing to remove threat from. I will attack for 2. I will, I will spend 1 to Psyblades. So there's a -2. And that ends her turn. So yeah, she's God, it's kind of weird because she is strong. She's extremely strong. I don't know if she's broken or because Scimitar is doing a ton of damage too. Psychotonic can definitely be 1 damage per each time. Sonic Sheathing can definitely be limited once per turn. Raycrow's Cabin is fine. So let me look at her cards real quick. That was extremely quick. I went through 2 phases of the boss in a heartbeat. Also, that last hand was ridiculously strong. So let's look at her cards. again because I do this every time. I play test her so many times, and every time I relook at her cards. So I know that it was a bubblegum that was talking about how he didn't get any use out of. Yeah, bubblegum never got any use out of her ability. Um, I definitely do. I definitely want. I think this might be one of those things where um, this is a character ability that some people aren't going to care about, and some people will actually get use out of. I kind of liken it to Baptiste from the most recent Cass cycle. Off the top of my head, I don't remember who made Baptiste. Let me look. I don't want to mention a character without giving proper um, call out here. Tuna. Tuna made Baptiste from Overwatch. And I play tested Baptiste like 4 times. And I got no use out of his ability any of the times. But I was seeing a bunch of people like reviewing it really well, and I was like, it's not a character. I guess it's just not a character for me. It might be that her ability is not something that every person is gonna use. I use it. Obviously, I've used it every time. I've gotten good use out of it. Um, so I like her ability. I like her alter ego ability. Um, yeah, I think that she, in terms of her alter ego and heroes, she's working perfectly fine, in my opinion. Um, Cyblades. This is meant to be the bread and butter of her deck. Um, it is strong. It's meant to be strong. The problem is that it's almost running too strong. Um, I and the problem is it might just need to stay too strong. Because if I take 1 damage off of it, then it's not a great card. Even at 2 damage on its own, it's not a great like the confuse is excellent on it. And the fact that you get 4, I think this card is just where it is right now is where it's going to stay. It's just going to have to be a pretty damn good card. Um, Ninja Speed. So Ninja Speed was weird for me because the first couple times I played tested her, the defense value was garbage every time. Um, and then I tweaked it and just put a single 1 defense on it, well, +1 defense, and then plus the X. And now every single time since then, I've had a bevy of Psionic cards in my hand. Um, I I'm gonna drop the +1 defense off of this. Um, it's just extremely good. She's got 2 defense innately. Um, so she's probably gonna play that and get an additional 2 defense on average, is what I'm thinking. I'm averaging is +2 to +3. Psionic cards in my hand every single time I've used this. Because in her hero deck alone, she's got 4, 5, 6, 7 Sonic cards just in her hero deck. And then the pre-con has, this isn't Sonic, Sonic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know why I'm counting when the deck will tell me once I finish making the deck. She's a Mystic, Psionic. Her deck has an additional 12. There's 19 cards in her deck that have Psionic traits on them. Oh, and Scimitar. Scimitar has Psionic. 20 cards in her deck. That is half of her deck with Psionic. She can drop the +1 off of Ninja Speed. She really can. And it'll still be a really good card. It'll obviously have turns where it's just useless, but for the most part, she will always get use out of it. And then top it off, if you're not getting the additional defense off of it, then it's just a +1 defense that you can't ready yourself after. I don't see this card getting used without Sonic cards in their hand, anyways. So the +1 defense can go. Trained Assassin. Bubblegum was saying he didn't get a chance to use this. I do. I use it every time I can. I love this card. Ready your identity, then you get that additional stuff. It is, to me, this is extremely, I wouldn't say it's extremely good because if you do not have the mental resources available to you, it is harder to use, but it's still a really good card. I used to have it cost 0. That was a bit too much. The 1 cost is fine. What's her other card? That Kunai. I play tested her 8 or 9 times. This is the first game I've gotten good use out of Kunai. Um, I might tweak the ability on it. I might slightly tweak it. It's not. It's To me, it is, along with Devin D'Angelo, it's her weakest cards, which is saying a lot because it's still a good card. She doesn't, like, a lot of card decks have situationally good cards, but sometimes they're just weak garbage cards. This card is so extremely good, or not as so extremely good. It's good, but in comparison to the rest of their deck, it's not great. I might tweak it. I might not. Um, yeah, yeah, that's where I stand on that. Grey Crow. I didn't use in this game. I needed a resource to get rid of something, so I used a resource. Um, he's fine. I think he's fine. You're essentially taking 1 damage and paying 1 mental resource to heal him too. I think he's a fine character. I think in the playtest I've gotten more use out of Psylocke than I've gotten out of him. It's not that he's bad, it's just that every time I've had him in my hand, I've had something else I've needed to do. Psychotana needs to get nerfed. Sonic Sheathing probably needs to get nerfed. As much as I love a draw card engine, maybe limiting the once per turn would suffice. Or maybe changing the text. Maybe the first time you exhaust Psychotana, draw 1 card. The second time, X. Psychotana, I could probably just drop that to 1 damage because it is guaranteeing 2 damage every turn. Even if I drop it to 1, it's guaranteeing 2 damage every turn with all the Sonic she has. Maybe 1 damage plus piercing. But it's got to drop the 1 damage. It's too strong. It is. I mean, that first round, I did 8 damage because I had that and I had Psy Blades. She can one-shot enemies in solo that do not have a high health pool. So yeah, it's got to start with Psychotana. 1 damage, maybe 1 damage plus piercing, but it needs the nerf. Sonic Butterfly is just a very good card. It's not getting touched. It's perfectly fine. Grey Crow's Cabin operates as an offhand her alter ego ability, whereas her alter ego only gets the 2 cards. This will get any psionic, which is good value to me. I don't get a lot of use out of it because Psylocke does a very good job of staying hero. Doesn't mean it's a bad card. Doesn't mean it needs to change. It's just a good card. Devin D'Angelo. So I said that he's with Psych and I for being the worst cards in this deck. Again, they are not weak. Devin D'Angelo's pronouns are they, so I'm not saying they are not, although it could be. Devin does not feel like a weak card. This is a card that if I have to spend a hero card to play another hero card, Devin will get spent. But yeah, that's where Psylocke is at. Definite nerf to Psychotana. nerf to Sonic Sheathing, or maybe I will do the retext on that. Nerf to Ninja Speed. Everything else, these 6 right here, perfectly fine. These 7 right here, I feel perfectly fine. Other big thing, Spiritual Possession. I went through the boss so quickly that this didn't get a chance to build up. This is also not a minion intensive deck, and Fixer does not have allies. I don't think there's a single. Is there? I'm pretty sure there's not a single ally in his entire deck. Mainly because he can't have aspect, so that it limits him to only basic allies. Yeah, he doesn't have allies in his deck. So there weren't allies getting defeated for that, and when it came out, I only defeated 3 minions. So I didn't get a good look this time to see how the balance changes I did affected it. I did a play test last night or 2 nights ago, I forget. If she feels cleaner, she feels better. In terms of what happens when she's in her Psylocke and white form. There's a playmat. If I was playing solo or with another player, I'd load up the playmat, but I don't like taking a seat when I'm playing solo 2-hand. So yeah, I didn't get a good chance to test out her new balance tweaks this run. Everything else, though, these 3 need to get nerfed. Other than that, she's feeling fine to me. What's this card? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Dead. Fixer. This is the second playtest I've done of them. The first one was just unremarkable. I don't even remember anything from the first time I playtested him after I rebuilt him. This time he got his weapons out. Not only did he get his weapons out, he got 2 weapons out that just side railed the entire boss. Because he got Sonic Rifle to confuse and then the Stun Gun to stun. And then he got his tech pack to keep putting counters back on this. You got 2 copies of Tech Savant, which put counters on everything. So let's look at his cards real quick. Move this out of the way. Up here. Breakaway Plating, Assess and Analyze. Assess and Analyze. His Command Center, his Tech Arms. 2 Tech Arms. Body Plating. Rod Energy Beam, Shocker, Rod Energy Beam, Tech Savant. Tech Smarts. Used to be called Tech Savant, but then I've made it his ability right there, so that's my bad for calling it Savant. So mine's better. I need to fix the text on this to let you know that it goes into play immediately. Tech Pack, I like it. It works perfectly fine. More playtesting needed, obviously, but works perfectly fine. I didn't even draw breakaway plating this game. I think it's fine though, especially since you can keep putting counters on it, so it can be a pretty good source of just reducing damage. Assess and Analyze and Broad Energy Beam both need to get their restrictions on them, which will be a technical nerf, but them doing the damage and threat removal they can do without those restrictions on them is overpowered. When I made that, I forgot that Force Field Generator exists and will just be 6 counters for these if he doesn't get attacked. Electro Neutralizer, I think they're fine. It's just by the time I kept getting them, I had the stun gun in play, so I already had a method of stunning. So no notes on that. Tech Savant or Tech Smarts is a great resource for him. I might knock this down to 2 upgrades Um, that I'll need further playtesting. I really know for sure. I didn't get a chance to use Tech Arm. Additional key, or restricted cards. And then it can help him play more upgrades and weapons. And then his command center I didn't get a chance to play. I haven't had a chance to play it ever. Um, so that's going to be strong when partnered with Forceful Generator. Um, so fix these three. Maybe those two, because that can be extremely strong, because that's 3 costs, that's 3 cost. All he has to do is exhaust them. Yeah, he might need to, this might need to get dropped down a little bit. I think this is fine. I think this is fine, probably. Yeah, that's where these stand right now. So if you manage to stick around for this entire almost 2-hour stream, thank you for watching me do my roundup of my mods and watching what happened to be a very quick 2-hand game. With that, it is 7:15 in the morning. I should probably go to sleep. Have yourselves a good night / day. If you celebrate your New Year's tonight, be safe, be responsible. Make sure that you make it through this year. Um, and just enjoy yourself other than that. Um, but yeah, with that, have a good night / day / morning to all the people.